Welcome to another episode of Misfit Social Podcast, where the Sultan of Sarcasm has wore white yet again.
Yet again.
What happened, Paul? I have questions.
I just threw a bunch of stuff in a suitcase, and whatever came out first, I just pulled it out. Okay, that.
He said that'll work.
Three seasons in. Note after note about
hours and hours
white.
of no white. So I think the next time it needs to be a note to Julie.
Yeah.
So Julie Cook, if you are listening.
She's not, by the way.
When Paul packs his suitcase, he said she's not. She's like, she said, I have to listen to him talk all the time.
She's not going to watch one of these.
Yeah, she's not listening to a recording.
So Adam, whenever we edit this piece has to be cut and sent to her personally to make sure that no white in the suitcase. No, so it's good to be back on the pod, and we've got a very special guest today, Paul Kleckley. Kleckley. I knew I was going to mess it up.
Oh, man.
You knew I was going to.
Did you just say Kleckley?
I said Kleckley. Kleckley. Yes. Sorry, Paul.
That's what you call when you're in prison.
Paul, I'm sorry.
Call Kleckley.
Yeah. When I was young, I had to call
That would be a good, like a bail bondsman name.
Yeah? Kleckley.
Call Kleckley.
Call Kleckley.
My father-in-law never got it right either, so.
Yeah.
Well, Paul is with A&P Carbide. He's actually the owner of A&P Carbide.
Co-owner,
That's correct?
yeah.
Co-owner.
Co-owner.
So you have, what's your partner's name?
Alex Ibarra.
Alex Ibarra. So it's good to have you guys with us today, or have you with us. A&P is a very good customer of Lineage Alloys, and it's going to give us a little bit of update about what's going on in the oil and gas market. But before we jump into all that, Paul, why don't you just tell us a little bit about how A&P got started, what's your history in the oil field, and how you got here today.
Okay. Well, I guess we can back all the way up to college. Went to Texas A&M. Got out of there in December of 2007.
Got out of there. Sound like it.
Yeah.
Got out.
I got
Broke out.
while the getting was good.
Yeah.
And 2008, I found myself in construction, residential construction, and if y'all remember, 2008 was not a good year to be in that.
Indeed, it was
I think my first year out of college, I made $8,800
Oh, awesome.
with, 60 grand worth of college debt to pay back. So anyway, that wasn't fun.
Not at all.
Figured that math wasn't on square. was it?
Yeah.
So one day I was working on an aerobic septic system, and I guess the homeowner decided that was a perfect time to start a load of laundry. And as I'm getting
Finish this story.
water sprayed in my face from the septic system, I look up and I definitely didn't go to college for this.
Yeah.
And so I went back to work for my dad, who's got a fab shop in Bryan, which is right next door to College Station. And he gave me a raise. I worked for him all through college. He gave me a raise from $11 an hour to $12 an hour when I came back.
Wow. Generous
Big
guy.
time.
Wow.
Big money.
Thanks, Dad.
Big money. Big
Yeah,
money.
Dad.
no. I understand why he did it. So I did that for another year, and a guy that I knew from the dorm in college said, "Hey man, I got this job with Haliburton. It's not a hard job. They just need a body in the seat." And I said, "Okay, what's the job?" MWD. What does that mean? Well, out here they call it movie watching dude, but it stands for monitor measurements while drilling or something. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
you
just
put
sit
these
there.
little tools together and then you put them down hole, and then, 10 days later you go home. Okay, what's the catch? No, there's no catch. You don't have to be smart. I don't know why everybody always says that to me, but
Yeah.
it's
You're like, why is that a qualifier?
I am smart.
So anyway, I go do the job at Haliburton. It was one of those deals where you go interview with 20 people and they pick 8 of you to do the job. And by the time your 3 months has passed, 4 of those guys have already quit. But so, and that was the situation with me, you know, like my very first job, they called me at 8 o'clock at night, said, "Are you ready to go to work?" I guess. It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, they need you at the rig at 12:01 a.m. because they're not going to pay you for today. They're going to pay you for tomorrow. Okay. So, you know, I'm an early bird. I've always been an early bird. Woke up at, you know, say 6 o'clock that day, screwed around, you know, did the honeydews, and then I get a call when I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's time to go to work. So took off to the rig. And this was in 2010 before, you know, I didn't have a fancy truck with a GPS. So I had to print up the MapQuest, you know, and like turn here. The job was in Fowlerton, Texas.
I don't even know where that is.
Never even heard of it.
There,
Yeah. So, you know, it's like there's a sign about this big on the side of the freeway saying hunt rig, whatever the rig number was, and a little arrow. Okay, so I guess I go that way. And I'm driving, and this is 2010, South Texas, there were rigs everywhere. I mean, I passed 20 rigs on the way to this rig. And I'd never been, you know, my first time, like, we had been to a rig during our little training, if that's what you want to call it, but this was a thrown to the wolves experience.
Wow.
And anyway, I was there maybe 10 days, and I didn't even have a BlackBerry at that time. I had like the knockoff BlackBerry, right? Because I was, you know, this was my job to get me out of the college hole, and, you know, I'm looking on that phone, the internet. You know, I got like 1 bar of service out in the middle of this field in the middle of nowhere on some ranch, and like, I got to find a new job. I got to find a new job.
Job searching the first day of his job.
And I'll never forget, the directional driller on that rig said, if you can stick it out and don't spend all your money like all these other guys do, you will set yourself up for the rainy day when it comes.
By doing this job, by starting here.
No, this is background. So I did that job for 2.5 years. I you know, every time the phone rang,
the movie watching guy,
the movie watching dude, right?
Okay. Movie watching dude. Yeah.
Every time,
MWD.
every time the phone rang, I answered.
And you went.
The boss called, and he knew. I mean, I got called on Thanksgiving Day during the middle of my anniversary dinner with my wife.
Oh, awesome.
You know, July 4th.
On the anniversary dinner of my first wife.
No, my wife. Yeah, so
The Sultan.
but they knew that they could call me and I was reliable and I was going to go to work because I had a goal: pay off the college debt, save some money, get a house, you know, and then we can talk about getting an 8-to-5 job somewhere where I can go home at night, you know. And there's days that, man, I even tell Alex, that drilling rig sure does sound nice right now. I can guarantee you one thing: I'm not gonna have to eat zucchini on the drilling rig. And when I go home tonight, if she has zucchini, I gotta eat it. So I did that job, and then, you know, it was time. My debts were paid. I had some money saved. I was getting burnt out. 2011, from January 1st to July 4th, I had 7 days off. I mean, that's when the oil field was booming.
Wow.
And it was like, I would go to a 53-day job, go home for a day, get called out to a 45-day job, go home. And, you know, but it was like a black cloud that followed me around. Every job had problems. And I don't know if it was me watching too many movies or if it was just my luck. I like to think it's my luck because it's not good. But so I saw a lot of things that I had no idea I was going to be dealing with in the future, but sidetracks on wells where they have to send a tool called a whipstock down, which is basically a sliced pipe with an angle, like, and they set a big mill on top of it, run it down, set the whipstock, and then drill through the casing wall. I saw 3 of those on one job. And you know what's on those? tungsten carbide. And so I did that job, and then I got in contact with a company called American National Carbide. And that was my very last job. They wanted to interview me, and I was, okay, that's fine, yeah. I don't know how long this job is gonna last. That's not a problem. I mean, I'm talking to them on like day 30 of this job. The job ended up being 93 days. And so when I got off that job, I told my coordinator, I need at least 2 weeks off. You know, it was right before Christmas. I did all my Christmas shopping. Luckily, we were in Beaumont, which is was 2 hours from home, you know. So I'm not saying I didn't run home a couple of nights during that job, but it's still, you know.
So you're saying the job that was 93 was 93 days consecutively
for Haliburton MWDs to be out there.
Just 93 days
93
straight.
days worth of my day rate.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
Which is a good problem. I mean, you know, you get
that black cloud's raining money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you know, that's what it was. And, you know, I'm okay with it. It's, you know, I'm on this rig to make money, not to make friends, although I did make friends because when you work there, you know, they get you working with people that you get along with and you like. But the rig hands, you know, a lot of them are a week on, a week off, or 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So they go home for their hitch off and come back. Oh, you're still there? Yeah, I'm still here.
Still watching movies.
But, you know, usually the first day of the job was the rig up day, right? And that was the work part. I'd go buy the little Nestle tub of cookie dough and just bake the whole thing and take the cookies up to the rig floor with a 12-pack of Cokes, and those guys would do anything for you. You know, like you're Betty Crocker or something. And they, you know, I got along with them all, and there was one rig I went to, probably my third job. There were some vibrant characters on that one. Glad I didn't have to go back with those guys, but
that's what we say about Royce. Vibrant.
Well, these guys,
this shirt I got.
I was gonna say,
they're the kind that might stab you in the ear with a screwdriver. You know, like, you don't look at them the wrong way.
Me too.
But, you know,
Paul Cook doesn't realize what he's messing with.
But so that long job finally came to an end. I went and interviewed with American National, and they hired me, and it was. Again, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Don't want to say anything bad about them, but there was some organizational problems. They wanted us to sell product that they
didn't believe in themselves.
They couldn't make. You know, it was they didn't have enough material to make all the product that we were selling, and so here I found myself looking for a job again.
What year did you go to work for them?
2013 in January.
Okay.
Yeah. So after the 93-day job, and after I got my offer from them, I told my coordinator, hey, just letting you know I got a new job.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, well, you're leaving on good terms. If you ever want to come back, there's an open door here. Okay, cool. So I worked for A&C for maybe 2 years. I think it was exactly 2 years. And I left. I had enough of, you know, I was a commission-based salesman. So they set these unrealistic goals because it doesn't matter how much you sell, it's what we ship out that you get paid your commission on. And
sounds like a production problem.
Well, I did my part, you know, me and the other sales guys, we did our part. They didn't do their part, but that's fine. I mean, you know, everybody is on their own journey. So
A&C, they were full soup to nuts production, right? So
production,
they could go straight from powder all the way to a finish, press and centered tungsten carbide part.
Yeah, and you know, I learned a lot there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I learned a ton. And the good thing about me working there was I have no parts to sell, so I got to have a relationship with these guys.
Yeah.
So they buy something, you know, because the oil field is very much, I need it yesterday. I need it yesterday, or when I need it, I need it. I can't wait. And so we kind of tried to steer that to, hey, let's plan ahead a little bit. But they never know what's going to call in. You know, it's just one of those
It's
industries.
when something breaks.
It's when they got to build something, a specialized tool with this specific part on it.
This is all downhole products.
Right, downhole inserts is what they made. So like, your big rock bit inserts, the chisel looking ones, the pointy ones. And then my specialty was kind of the fishing.
Diagnostic stuff.
The fishing inserts are for basically, I don't know why they call it fishing, they send something downhole to retrieve something that's stuck in hole or mill up something that's stuck down hole. So, but there's also a lot of, the common word is cut right. We don't like to use that because that's a competitor's brand name, but, hard face, cutting grade carbide, just crushed up scrap
Junk that's
carbide
down in the hole.
that is brazed onto a tool that'll cut anything down hole. So, and as I was selling for A&C, they wanted to sell the 10-pound box of inserts that they could make $400 on. Well, every shop I went in, and this is what I told them, every shop I went in, you sell 10 pounds of these inserts, they got 100 pounds of the crushed carbide. So I started making a push to get that in there. And then, they ended up, I left there, got laid off from where I went and went back there, and they were kind of getting the ball rolling on that. But, and I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means, but people have to learn how to listen to people that know more than they do.
Truth.
And they wouldn't listen, and they ended up letting me go during a bankruptcy, and I wasn't 100% sure if I had a non-compete or not. But I was trying to get them before they got me because I knew it was coming. And so I had started talking to a welding supply company, brand new welding supply company. These guys had something like they cashed out their 401ks, bought this old welding supply. They left Praxair, which is one of the big welding supplies. And they gave me an opportunity, and I had a baby on the way, and it was just, the timing couldn't have been worse to get laid off. But, I don't know that there's ever really a good time, but so those guys rolled the dice on me, and they're great people. They're our welding supply guy who we use.
What do they weld? What gets welded? Is it...
So the welding supply company is a company that is like an air gas or Praxair. You buy your gases, your tips, your wires.
What are they welding
in Houston? They could be building skids, or they could be building pressure vessels, or just a fab shop that's making trailers.
Not necessarily something's going downhole.
No. These guys don't really do. I mean, there's some shops that they sell to that are downhole specific, but they're a broad. Anyway, I was working for those guys, and I was good at it. I just wasn't.
The sales aspect?
Yeah, I just wasn't super passionate about it because, like what I sell, what me and Alex sell, we got 100 part numbers. We know every part, every size, every this, every that, inside and out. Well, the welding supply, it's 10,000 part numbers.
Oh my goodness.
You got the tip that goes with this gun, the tip that goes with that gun, the diffuser, the nozzle.
But you're getting an education through all this. On so many levels.
Right. And I grew up in a welding shop. So, I kind of already knew the lingo. And, at that time, I got a little sales trick I learned. I got that Samsung Note phone. So I would walk in.
The one you could write on?
Yeah.
That's like one of the first times with the stylus and a phone.
I would walk in like this, and you just walk in the shop and start walking around asking for, whoever, looking for the guy that knows what he's doing. And 9 times out of 10, they'll just talk to you. You don't go through the office. That's not, you're never going to, you're never going to talk to anybody if you do that. So
start at the bottom.
Right. So, and I was good at that job. But the passion wasn't there. And not only that.
10,000 parts.
Well, you got 10,000, but you got 100 customers, And so I did a milk run where every Monday I go see these 10 customers. Every Tuesday I go see these 15 customers. And then the truck would show up the next day with whatever they needed. Well, as I'm prospecting and cold calling, I got the note out and just started writing stuff and emailing it to my inside guy to quote. And he was like, that's cool, but you need to work on your handwriting. But you don't walk in looking like a salesman at that point. And so even now, if there's a shop that I know is potential, I just drive around to where their welding shop is and go in, hey, who's the carbide guy? And they say, yeah, he's right over there. Or, oh, he's off. Here's his phone number. That's all I wanted.
Good place to start.
Yeah. So, but while I was at the welding supply job, I got an account where I met Alex, and he was the shipping and receiving guy for one of my accounts that I had there. And I don't remember what his title was. He had whatever title he wanted, I think, one of those guys. But he was telling me, yeah, whatever you can sell us, sell it to us. I don't care what you charge. Okay. So they were doing a lot of valve, I don't remember who they were for, but a lot of where the product flows through, they have to overlay them in like a Inconel wire or something. And these guys, they had this big robotic machine that was putting them on, and then they ended up buying another one of those machines. And I mean, they were buying 8 spools of this.
Is that like one of the flow controllers, or?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not an expert on those. But I saw a few shops that had them, and that wire is very competitive. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, this guy told me I can charge whatever. He's approving every PO. I know me personally, I'm making $60 a spool off of this, so I'm gonna sell as many as I can, because $60 times 8, that adds up on your commission check.
Yeah.
And every week, like, that's a good account. So, but Alex was the receiving guy there. And so over the 2 years of me working with those guys, I kind of got to know Alex. And then the welding shop ended up shutting down, and he got moved over into their hard-facing shop as their sales guy.
What's hard facing?
It's the carbide, the hard material, the carbide, the wire with the fine tungsten grit in it, PTA powders, things like that. So they had their own line of all that. And then in 2020, right in the middle of COVID, me and Alex got together, formed A&P in April of 2020.
So this is
Great
It
time.
was a terrible time.
Great time.
But
Perfect.
Peak of COVID.
I knew Alex had all his customers. I had all my customers. And so we got together, and COVID was not fun. I mean, I think our first year we did our first month, maybe 20 grand in sales. Like, that's not enough for 2 people to survive on, because that's total sales, not profit. And then the next month, maybe 30, and then 40 and 50 and whatever. But that's kind of how A&P came to form. And I'll tell you, if my phone rings 5 times a day now, I'm busy. But with the welding supply, it was like 150 times a day.
Wow.
Hey, I ordered safety glasses. They didn't show up on my order.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I don't know.
10,000 items.
They probably went out on UPS. Well, can you track them?
Yeah,
I don't work
and
for
it was
UPS.
for probably $20.
Yeah,
that
I
a whole box.
made $1.20 on. Yeah, But like I said, I still love those guys. I go out there. They're based out of Waller, and I go out there and check on them every now and then, and they check on me. And we got a good relationship, and they wanted me to keep doing that job and this job. And
Do both.
I wish I could,
It's
but
too much to keep up with.
it's too much for not enough.
Yeah. So you did some jumping.
Some jumping, yeah.
Climb the ladder. Yeah.
So
well,
that's only been 5 years.
Yeah. So A&P, we started in April of 2020. So we just hit 5 years.
Yeah.
or next week or something.
Do you warehouse a bunch of stuff that you sell, or is it more of a pass through?
No. So what we warehouse is our brazing alloy and our grit, and then we have some inserts that, the generic stuff that people, there's no sense in having a lot of inventory that you're never going to sell. So we have inventory on stuff that we know we're going to sell. Alex, he's got some customers on the fishing side. Actually, if we got our top 10 biggest customers, he's got 8 of them. I mean, he goes after the heavy hitters and he gets them. And I'm the guy, I always say, well, I'm going to put them on net 15 and see how that works. And he's not afraid to put them on net 60 or, whatever. But
no, of course he wouldn't be afraid to put them. He's the salesman,
Right, yeah. I want my money now.
Yeah, sales guys love those long terms.
Yeah, well, he's got his customers, and we're both owners, and he's the guy though where his strength is. If he gets an order at 4:00 in the afternoon, he's going to stay all night until it's done, so it can ship tomorrow and will ship tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'll be like, give me like 3 or 4 days on that, just to But we try to stock. We got 30 key part numbers that we sell every day. We got to have it on the shelf, and we know, hey, we're going to have 50 pounds of this, 100 pounds of that, 150 pounds of that. And because we fill a niche where, I'm not saying we don't have customers that do the 600, 700, 800 pound orders, but our niche is 80 to 100. Our box is 40 pounds. So 80 to 160 pounds is our target customer,
So are you buying scrap, providing scrap? What is the relationship between y'all?
We buy scrap from Tungco, not scrap, but crushed and screened grit from Tungco.
He's buying what we would call, we have a finished product called grit that we manufacture in Madisonville.
Oh, in Madisonville.
Yeah, and then he's taking that crushed material and he's forming it into a nickel silver braze rod.
Right,
basically.
a brazing rod, right.
Yeah.
For welding.
For welding.
Strictly for welding.
For welding, and our niche is the downhole tools.
Yeah, and they call it welding, but it looks more like...
It's brazing.
Yeah, because it's an acetylene torch with the nickel silver rod, which is funny because it's not...
Or is this to enhance?
Well, so...
Manufacturing, repair, it just depends, so you've heard of a workover rig?
No, he's not heard.
Okay, so a workover rig, you got the drilling rig, which drills the hole, and then
if it's oil and gas, he's not heard of it. So he's got questions.
I have a gas truck.
Then then the completions crew goes in and fracks the well, and then there's a final stage called the drill out where, or I don't know what the technical word, but they do the drill out where each frac plug is drilled out, and they'll do either a lot of our customers do the drill out tools, which basically looks like a drill bit that is not a drill bit. It's a carbide bit that is called a mill.
And so you're just clearing out everything that's happened to get ready for production.
All the frac plugs have to be out of the hole. So they literally go in and mill it up into small pieces, and then the little fine pieces come up with the drilling mud, and then the hole is ready for production.
Have you watched Landman?
Yeah.
So how accurate do you think some of that is?
I thought a lot of it wasn't really that accurate, but I worked for Haliburton. I didn't work for a mom and pop. So, but apparently a lot of these small drilling companies, they bounce guys through every stage. And I didn't know that.
But I'm in terms of how the rig works and how they were changing out the pipe and doing all that.
Yeah, that's probably accurate enough. Yeah, it's accurate enough. Yeah. I mean, there's every rig is different. You got some guys literally where you got 2 floor hands, a derrick man, a driller, maybe 3 floor hands. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's 5 guys, and I've been on rigs where literally none of them speak to each other.
Yeah. So one of the things I think is interesting about this field is you're throwing out all kinds of words that
acronyms. And words.
Everybody in behind set, everybody listening in, whatever. It's like no idea what the fuck you're saying.
What words?
And well, hold on a minute. And the funny thing is, like in the coal mining in West Kentucky, where I come from. So you'll have guys, and you'll hear them talking at the bar over a beer, and they'll be talking about roof control and pinner bit this, and that miner was doing this, and the canuter valve was over here, going. And you're like, what in the world is going on? And the reason why I'm saying that is I think the average American, when they get in their gas truck or when they turn their lights on or whatever they do that oil has provided for us.
Right, yeah.
I don't think the average American fully understands exactly what all it took.
Oh, yeah.
To get that oil to them. I mean, it happens now like it's almost like it's easy and rhythmic, whatever, but the complexity to it is super high.
I will tell you, my brother-in-law was dating a girl one time, and she said, when they build all these gas stations, how do they know there's going to be gas under there?
Pumps it right out of the ground.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Pumps it right out of the ground.
Wow.
I'm glad.
She didn't go to A&M.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, they're not together anymore, thank God. But, yeah, so
you said you ain't got to be smart.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
I got a job for you. You could be a movie watching dude.
Yeah.
MWD.
You can learn where that gas comes from.
Yeah.
So,
can we talk about fishing tools for just a second?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, because
I'll tell you everything I know, which isn't that much. But
so when we're talking about fishing tools, obviously we're not talking about beetle spin or buzzbait.
No.
So when they are drilling down in the hole, it is common for something to get stuck
or twisted off,
break, whatever.
So,
and how far? I mean, like, let's just give some context. When we say drilling down, like, how far down are we talking?
I mean, they're doing wells now like 25,000 feet. I don't think is uncommon.
Okay,
21.
so
I think the longest one I did was 18.
Okay, so let's just get that in context. Wow. 25,000 feet. That's if you're on a Southwest flight, that's about your altitude. 25 to 30,000.
But it's not straight down, right? So
you go horizontal.
You go down.
But I'm saying that's a lot of fucking pipe.
Right. Oh, it's a lot. Yeah.
So even if you're going from here to over there.
So I was talking about the guys on the rig. So like, say you have a motor failure down hole, and it happens at 6 o'clock at night. The night hand's not doing anything.
Okay.
The night MWD is not doing anything.
Yeah.
Because they're coming out of hole, and it's going to take them all night to get out of the hole.
Yeah. So if the motor fails down hole, I'm probably explain where's the motor at.
The motor. Okay. So you got your bit, and then your motor, and then you got non-magnetic drill pipe or a drill collar, which is a heavyweight drill pipe, and then you got your MWD, and then you got another non-magnetic drill collar, because the MWD has these magnetometers inside of the tool that basically the MWD tool, from what I understood, and I wasn't that good at it, but I was good enough to not get fired for 2.5 years.
So.
Yeah. So it basically takes a picture, sends it up. What Haliburton used back then, I don't know if they still do, it was a pulse telemetry. So basically a Morse code that goes up through the pressure of the drill pipe to show the direction, north, south, east, west, and the inclination of where the tool is setting.
Simple.
And so then you have 30 to 40 feet in front of that is where your drill bit's actually at.
And
what's
what's
the motor doing?
The motor, so when you steer the motor, the drill pipe doesn't turn. Now they have this technology called rotary steerable, where the drill pipe is turning and you're still able to turn. I don't know how it works because I never worked with it, but
But the motor is picking the direction.
Yeah, so there's the motor, just picture a piece of pipe with a little bend in the end. And so that bend, it's like 2 degrees or something. And so the motor is spinning the bit, but if the drill pipe isn't turning, the bit is cutting the earth, and they just slide it down, and eventually that curve in the end of the pipe will steer the motor. And that's
so
the way
they shift that based upon what
yeah.
direction.
So
they want to
if they want to say make it go this way,
it can only turn so fast.
Turn the drill pipe and slide, and then that's when every 30 seconds or whatever it's pumping up that signal.
And so, are you sending 25,000 feet of electric down the hole to run that motor?
No, it runs off of the pressure of the mud.
Yeah.
So the mud,
they're pumping
it's
mud down there.
either oil-based or water-based mud that goes through the middle of the pipe. And there was a little impeller on the tools that we ran. And I still talk to some, and that is the oldest technology.
So something has to provide that.
So there's
hose
it's
in the pipe.
That's in the pipe. In the MWD tool was a pulser. And so the little impeller on it would spin, and it would, inside against a little orifice, it was actually a carbide ring in there that, it's all got to be carbide because the drilling mud it's got stuff added in it that is corrosive, and
very abrasive.
Yeah, very abrasive. Not corrosive. Yeah, abrasive is the word. And it, sometimes we got them back and everything was washed out.
If you've ever,
is there water going down there?
Yeah. So if you've ever seen a pump truck going down the road that looked like it had these motors and pumps and everything all over it, that's a pump truck, and there has to be per rig. They're probably running 5 of those.
No, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
On a average.
And where are they getting their water?
They have it there on site.
Well, they bring it in. A lot of the rigs, and I don't know what justifies. I think it's how much natural gas is in the well, whether they have oil-based or water-based mud. But over the everybody had a little computer, right? And it said add whatever that crap is, bainite, barite, some kind of powder that they would have to add to weight up the mud because they hit a gas pocket or something, and they don't want a bunch of gas coming up the well.
So they have to bring the water in. I mean, they have to transport the water in a tank truck.
Right, in a tank truck. Yeah, they would have water tanks, mud tanks.
Yeah, but you would think that if you just had this much water going 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, that's a lot of water.
Yeah, but and then it gets pumped back up and recycled, and everything is
cleaned out. Whenever you see a big rig and they have
I have questions.
Yeah. And they have the big pond that looks like a pond of mud.
They'll put
it's like a reservoir.
That's where all they run they got the flow of the mud coming back. They run it over shaker screens to get all the cuttings and stuff out, and then they throw those cuttings in that pond. And the guys will go over there and look at it just to make sure everything's they can tell a lot from the cuttings about the drill bit and the what kind of formation they're in. They got I don't know who did that out there. If it was you've heard the term company man. He's the guy that works for the Conoco, that is contracted by Conoco to go out there and make sure everything is going according to their well plan.
Yeah. So back to fishing tools though.
Yeah, fishing.
If the motor, say you're at 15,000 feet on the well, and the pipe snaps and the motor's stuck down there.
Yeah, so that's if it's the bottom hole assembly, I want to say ours at that time was valued at $450,000.
Oh, yeah.
So they either make a decision, we're going to cement on top of it, sidetrack and go around it, which is where they bring the whipstock in, or we're going to try to fish for it. And so there's different types of fishing tools. More than I know. I mean, I know a mill, which is going to basically go in and shave the top off, so then they can go in and try to retrieve it. They have lead blocks where they'll it's a lead block. They'll pour a mold, go down there and ram into whatever's stuck in the hole, bring it back up, look at the impression on the lead because it's soft, right? And make a decision on what they're going to run from there.
Wow.
15,000 feet down.
15,000 feet down, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll go this way for a certain amount of distance, right? And then they start horizontal.
Then they call it building the curve, which is that, because you can't just go a 90 because how's your pipe going to get through? Yeah. So you have to have a nice curve.
Somewhere you reach hell down there too. You
can
only go so far.
We never got there.
Is there any, not friction, and I know you're not going directly down, but is that deep enough to see temperature variations?
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
We had at Haliburton some high temperature tools. I want to say the hottest I ever saw was a little over 300, maybe 340 or something.
That's legit.
Yeah.
So it is.
It's hot. I mean, but you got the friction from the bit.
Okay.
And then the mud temperature.
So that's including friction.
Right.
Okay.
Friction from all the pipe going against the wall.
There's a lot of human danger in
but
all
that's
of that
deep
too.
enough for the ground to be hotter if you weren't even drilling, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Maybe. I mean, it's 8,000 feet. I don't know what the.
Yeah, I'm not sure where
I'm
that's
not a
at
geologist. I don't know. Yeah.
So I just think, when you talk about the oil industry and what all it does, I feel like we just take a lot of that you just spit out there for granted.
A lot of people do, because as far as you asked if it's dangerous, I mean, every job is dangerous. I mean, what we do is dangerous because we put stuff in an oven, bake it at 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, and pull it out, and then get our product out, and then move on. And we do that all day, every day.
Yeah, and you're just touching it.
Well, we got gloves on,
still,
but it's hot.
On the other side,
it's hot. And in the summer you can definitely feel it. In the winter you like it, but in the summer,
not so much.
You want a new job.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you buy any of the scrap that comes from the process? Is there anything that comes out of that process that's retrievable and usable and scrap?
Well, we've worked on that a little bit. I mean, obviously,
old bits.
No, they don't do bits. So, what they're trying to make is this wear application product that would be applied. So then, if for some reason he has scrap, that's going to mean it didn't get into the final product. And a lot of times it's kind of, we talked about the braze.
Right.
Braze is not good in the scrap industry. It's a problem. So we're working on some solutions to try to come up with something that makes it more retrievable. Now, we've talked about scrap a little bit, and like scrap that doesn't come back, or tungsten units that don't come back. Anything they apply on those fishing tools and that type of stuff, you're never getting that back.
Why?
Well, because one, the way it's been brazed on, a lot of times when they run that tool down, a lot of that's getting chewed up.
Right. It's wearing off. The whole point of putting it there is to protect the hole size. So if you start out with a 4.5 inch hole, and you at the very end, after doing your whole clean out run, like for the completions that I was telling you about, say it starts out at a 375, which is a lot of North Dakota, 375 OD, and they come back at 368, that's a win. Because it made it all the way through and they only lost 0.7 of an inch.
Wow.
How did they lose the inch? What do you mean?
Well, it wears out as it goes through and drills out all the frac plugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but the
but it's
goal
just lost. You can't.
Is 375 is what they want the hole to be, and they want the bottom of the hole to be 375 also. But
that's a process.
Sometimes they do. It's what's in the hole, how much sand is in the hole, there's a lot of well variation that could cause the wear. So
tell us a little bit about frac plugs. I just want to ask about fracking because I find it interesting.
He has an affinity with plugs.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on them. I do know in the last maybe 10 years, somebody's come out with a dissolvable frac plug, which, what does that mean? Is it actually dissolvable? I don't know. I think over time the whole thing would dissolve, maybe for them to call it that. But
Is
I'm
that
not
the
in
dude,
it.
Is that the dude you met?
What?
Well, I don't want to call a name.
About the dissolvable plug?
No, I'm not being assaulting right now. I'm talking about something real. No, an airplane guy. You met him. Anyway, he had an invention. It was a downhole invention. And I believe it was something like that ended up, once you're done with it, you just left it down there and it dissolved. It wasn't expensive either. It was like a cheaper answer.
That's the thing. I don't know how much a frac plug costs or whatever, but I do know in, especially like North Dakota, I mean, it's not uncommon for them to have 70 plugs in the well. Wow. So that means the way that completions process works,
clean all those out.
What I understand is that, so at the very bottom of the hole, they're going to set a frac plug, pressure that hole up, frac it, move the whole operation back, set another frac plug, frac it, move it back, set another frac plug, frac it, which now they do a lot of that on a coiled tubing unit, which is a continuous pipe
and the
feed.
plug is just so that there's not an exit of the material.
Well, so it can't, so when they pressure up the well to frac it,
the pressure doesn't go up that way.
The pressure doesn't go down hole. It stays right there,
Yeah.
and it splits the formation to open the flow.
So give us that 8th grade layman's term for fracking.
Yeah, that was going to be my
Just I think we'll find that really interesting. Just a
sledgehammer on a rock.
From what I understand of it is literally you have your frac plug there, they pressure up the well, it splits the formation to open the flow of oil or natural gas or whatever.
What will they pump in there to push
that
out?
Sand.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Sand and water, I think.
But the why they're fracking that is to get either the gas or the oil out,
to open the formation up so it flows better.
And before the days of fracking, you were just drilling to the main core of where the oil was at, and then that's what you would get. And now that they frack, they're getting even more.
Right. Which I got in after fracking was a thing.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, why was there early on like this issue with fracking? I was curious with that because I think we're kind of past that. They're doing it, but there for a while, people fussing.
I mean, everybody's worried that the whole world is changing because of everything that everybody does the U.S., they have the cleanest drilling operation. I mean, if you've been to, you haven't, but if you go to a drilling rig, you would see, they lay down all kinds of stuff before any equipment has ever moved on to protect the ground that they're going to be working on. It's clean.
I think what you may be referring to is like where people were able to light their water faucets on fire.
Yeah, there was
because
just at one
in other
point,
words, there was natural gas mixing in with the water.
Yeah, but I don't know that's your municipality or your well or something.
Well, I think the only, and I'm no even less than Paul knows, but not that Paul, this Paul. Oh, he knows that Paul knows nothing.
Not a lot either.
But when they frack and they do the charge, they're actually blowing up a tungsten explosive, and when they're sending that charge down there, it is sending tungsten through the rock. It's just going everywhere.
First, they got to go through the casing wall.
Yeah,
and then the rock.
Yeah.
So.
And there's no way there's no boundary as to where think about it like this. The number one thing that they use for armor piercing tank penetrators is tungsten. So if it's going to go through, if it's going to go through armor, it's going to go through rock, and it's going to go through rock at an uncontrollable pace.
But the water table is far, far above the gas well. I would think the gas and the
should be. It varies.
Well,
so
the
like
big
some
problem
areas, it's only 2,000 feet down. Some areas it's 9,000.
The water
feet
table
down.
or
I'm talking about the gas pockets and the oil pockets.
And most of where you were getting those problems was like in the Pennsylvania region, and I think it's much shallower there. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
they're.
don't know.
I don't think they're.
Because the water
fracking as
table,
deep.
what's a water table? 200 feet. If you had a well 200 feet, you dug a long way.
Right.
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so I do think that was. I think it's a documented and a real thing, but I don't know that they ever were to put their finger on where that was coming from, and I don't think the oil and gas companies were standing up to be like, "Well,
Yeah.
let us explain
Let's
that to you."
explain what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew there had been just some kind of
You
controversy
hear
around
less
it.
though now. You hear less.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But there's far less. So if you go up in that northeastern Pennsylvania region where a lot of that fracking was going on, when you fly, because we fly in there to one of our customers, you'll see all these old frack pads that are still there, but there's no equipment left. It's all gone. I mean, there's still some fracking going on, but you used to 10 years ago, you couldn't get behind. I mean, you couldn't get on a country road in northeastern Pennsylvania without getting stuck behind a Haliburton truck or somebody that was moving
There's
water,
a lot of it going
pump
on
truck,
in the
whatever.
Dakotas and places like that, right? Like in the north.
North Dakota is a
Yeah.
big oil play. It's called the Bacon or Bakken Shale.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that second to the Permian?
For us, it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. For us, yeah.
For us,
For
it
us, yeah.
is. So
Now, do you have to travel up there, like for customers? or it's
No,
not
and
a
I
thing like
need
that?
to. I mean, last year, I may have hit the road like 6 days, and I'd like to go maybe 20 days out of the month, or 20 days out of 20 days out of the month would be nice.
Yeah.
Guarantee I won't be eating zucchini any of those days.
Nope.
You might be calling her your first wife after that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
No, maybe 20 days a year. I would like to get out on the road, but it's just, we're a 3-man operation. We've been a 2-man operation. We had a guy that kind of worked off and on with us, for 3 years, and he just graduated at the end of the summer, and he moved out to North Carolina. But then we just got another guy here in January, and
for
he's
production.
Yeah, and he's turning out to be pretty good. But I think long term, if we don't pay him a significant amount of money, he's gonna go on to bigger and better things. And I mean, I got plans for him, but he's catching on. He's pretty good. He fits in good with me and Alex. We joke around a lot, and sometimes we think, because we get to work, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we start making weird noises in there by 6:05, and then we start laughing. Like, what do you think the people that are driving by on the street think?
Right now.
Like, we hire special people here.
Well, it sounds like you're a misfit.
Yeah. Well, but back to your frac question, you don't see as much drilling going on now. I mean, drilling is still happening. It still will be happening. But I think at the end of the day, everything's gotten way more efficient. You don't have to have 2,000 rigs in the U.S. anymore. You can do the same with 1,000 rigs that you used to do with 2,000 rigs. The wells are going faster. I haven't heard of any of the people I still keep up with that are still out there on the rigs doing jobs, maybe every now and then a 30-day job, or 45, but they're doing 2 wells in 45 days, not 45 days for 1 well.
As your business grows, what would be an ideal volume for you? How do you see the future of your business?
I mean, there's still people we can go get, but we're in a sweet spot right now where Alex makes great money. I make great money. Our guy, I mean, he's getting 50, 55-hour weeks. He's making pretty good money. The work is not overloading us. Like last week, or maybe week before last, we were getting out of there at 2 o'clock every day, 2:30 every day. So,
but could you scale this?
we
to
could
the point
scale. I think with a $50,000 investment, we could double our production. Which $50,000 is a lot of money, but until it's in your bank account, it's monopoly money. That's how it goes. So $50,000 is nothing to double our capacity. Right now, I would say we make an average of maybe 7,000 pounds a month of 7,000 to 8,000 pounds a month of composite rod. That's a pretty good, sweet spot where that's our bread and butter. we sell some other things that complement it, or, different levels where, like on the drilling side, you got your stabilizer, which has, you can either put the composite rod, which is your bottom tier, then you got your wire, which is your middle tier, or your PTA powder, which is your top tier. And the PTA, a lot of people don't want to pay for it because the investment to be able to apply it is a $250,000 machine that you got to buy, but it does the work for you. You just are the operator of the machine. So I don't want to say anybody could do it, but if you have a welding background and understand what the machine is doing, you can touch the buttons and the machine will do it.
Probably a
And that's
movie
all.
watcher dude. could
That
do
a lot of that is like robotic and
Right.
powder thermal spray, right?
Right. Yeah, that kind of PTA stuff. So, and we sell it all. I mean, we don't want to not have an opportunity with a customer because we don't stock something. So if we get a commitment from them that they would use us if we had it, we're going to bring it in and sell it to them. So scaling up,
You just pick up more products.
2020, we grew like this. 2021, we grew like this. 2022, we grew like this. 2023, we grew like this. And then last year, we finally started leveling off, which is why I said it's a sweet spot. We're not always waiting on somebody to pay us so we can buy something else to grow. We can grow, we can make money, we can enjoy our life, where we're not always every day when we go check the mailbox for checks and there's nothing in there. It's like, this just put us behind a day. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's, Alex, like I said, he's
a happy
I think
camper,
his
huh?
balls are bigger than mine because he wants to go after, my target customer spends $5,000 a month with me. I think he's not happy unless his spend $20,000 a month with him, but
Awesome.
it's we try to do a decent volume and everything's good, but we can always grow.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, it's been good having you on. One of the things we always do traditionally, or we try to do, is have you name a misfit, somebody that you've looked up to or you like reading, or maybe it's a musician that you followed, a business person. What's a misfit that you're like, this person was really impactful in my life, or I just thought they were really cool?
Well, I don't know. Now, famous people, my uncle.
Your uncle, okay.
Yeah, my mom and her brother, they had a falling out several years ago, and he always believed in me. I was always the black sheep of my family, like march to the beat of my own drum. I was the screw up. I went to college. My first year out of college, I only made $8,800. What are you doing wrong? You went to A&M. I don't know. Then, I worked for ANC and they went under. What are you doing wrong? I don't know. And my uncle always said, whatever you do, just be the best at it. And like my whole family was estranged from him. He passed last year, but I would call him and he'd say, man, I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing.
Awesome.
And he actually had a black sheep tattooed on his arm.
Okay.
Because he was the black sheep of his family.
You got one too?
He told me I need to get one, but I have no tattoos.
Okay.
Listen, I have nothing against him. I just don't have anything.
All right. I got a feeling I know what we're doing tonight.
Yep.
I told the priest one time that I think I just need like a little cross right here, just so in case Jesus comes back, he knows, even though I don't always act like it, but I'm one of his followers.
Get some cred.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, was awesome to have you on. Awesome story. Maybe we'll get Alex on here at some point,
I'm
and
sure he'd love
we'll
that,
have the ball conversation and see who's our biggest.
But his are definitely bigger. I promise.
Until then, everybody stay safe and continue to remember to be a misfit. That's a wrap. Let's go.